Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. And today I'm going to be doing my predictions for tonight's doubleheader of Monday Night Football, as this is the second and final week of the doubleheader of Monday Night Football. Last week, at least for me, was a very tough doubleheader of Monday Night Football. The Saints-Panthers game, just to me, wasn't that interesting. It was a low-scoring game, wasn't a lot of offense, was kind of boring, to be honest. And then the Steelers-Browns game was a great game, but the Nick Chubb injury early on really made the night terrible. It was such an injury, such a tough injury to watch, and it just made the game a little sad, to be honest, because you kind of knew his season was going to be over, and he's such a good player, he's such a good person, and to know that this injury, it's going to it's going to cost him the season and potentially his career, and could cause trouble for him in his life was very tough to watch, and especially that injury. If you watch the replay of that injury, which it was terrible. So, and that wasn't that much of an entertaining game. Neither offenses were good. The only reason it was a little bit of a high scoring game is because the Steelers scored 2 touchdowns on defense. So there was not a lot of offense in last week's Monday Night Football games. But this week, I think it could be better. First game, you have a little bit of a defensive matchup between the Eagles and the Bucs. Two good defenses matching up against each other. And the first 2 weeks, the Bucs offense has been solid. But I think this is the real test here. Like, their first 2 matchups, the Vikings and the Bears, I'm sorry, but those defenses, matching up against those 2 defenses, in my opinion, that's nothing. Look at what the Bears defense have given up. Week 1 against the Packers gave up 38 points. Week 2 against the Bucs, 27 points. And then yesterday against the Chiefs, 41. So the Bears defense is terrible. As for the Vikings, they're not terrible, but they're not great either. They gave up 20 to the Bucs in Week 1. They gave up 34 to the Eagles Week 2, and then yesterday they gave up 28 to the Chargers. So their defense is not great, but it's not terrible, but it's not great either. So the Bucs, with their offense, they've faced some not so good defenses to start the season with their first 2 games, but now they're going to face a top tier defense. I think their wide receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, have a challenge tonight. For me, I'm playing Chris Godwin in fantasy, so I'm hoping Chris Godwin does terrible, but the Eagles on the defense are moving James Bradberry to the nickel to face Chris Godwin. So Chris Godwin has to deal with James Bradberry, and then number 1 wide receiver Mike Evans has to deal with going up against Darius Slay. So I think it's going to be a very hard matchup for the 2 star wide receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think it's going to be tough for those 2 guys right there. As for their run game, how they're going to get their run game against a great Philadelphia defensive line and linebacker core, I think that's going to be very interesting as well, because Rachaad White has been solid to start the year. How are they going to get him going in the run game? I really don't know how their offense is going to do tonight, to be honest. But getting into my prediction for this game, I think the Eagles' offense kind of exposes the Buccaneers' defense. I think they have a solid defense, but in the first 2 games, I think their defense, it's kind of, they've been good, but I think they've faced. The Bears are atrocious on offense, and the Vikings, they're not terrible on offense. They have a good offense. They have Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, K.J. Osborne, Kirk Cousins, and Alexander Madison, but their offensive line is terrible. They get sacked a whole bunch, and that's why they fumbled a couple times, and Kirk Cousins throws interceptions left and right. So, I think this is a good defense, but I think they're going to be truly tested tonight against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I think the Buccaneers keep it. I meant to say, I think they're going to be truly tested by this Philadelphia Eagles team. I think the Buccaneers are going to keep this game close. I really do, but I still see the Eagles winning this game by 10. I have the Eagles winning it 26-16, and I don't see this one being much close at all in the second half. I think it's a close game in the first half, but then the Eagles pull away with it a little bit in the second half. Getting to the Bengals and the Rams, it is still undetermined if Joe Burrow will play in this game, but here's my prediction. If Joe Burrow plays, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning 27-23, but if Joe Burrow doesn't play, you might want to close your ears, Bengals fans. I have the Rams winning 31-3 if Joe Burrow doesn't play. I don't see much momentum for this Bengals offense without Joe Burrow. Quarterback Jake Browning would most likely be the starter if Joe Burrow is not good to go, which it is looking like Joe Burrow should be able to go for the Bengals tonight. But at the same time, there's doubt he might not play, but Joe Burrow wants to go out there and suit up tonight for Cincinnati. So if he does play, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bengals win this game 27-23. But if he doesn't, I don't think there's much momentum. Jake Browning's never played a snap in his career, and he's going up against Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive tackles to ever play football. And Aaron Donald and this Rams team has a great defense. So I don't see much momentum for this Bengals offense if Joe Burrow is not the quarterback going up against this Rams defense. But if Joe Burrow is the quarterback, I think he gets into the rhythm, and the Bengals find a way to get the win in a very close game. Tight game between the Los Angeles Rams where the Bengals win 27-23. But honestly, at the same time, I could also see the Rams beating the Bengals even if they have Joe Burrow. So the Rams are a very underrated team. Stafford has looked great. He's had some great weapons to start the season. And Puka Nacua, the rookie from the draft pick from the 6th round, and Tutu Atwell and Tyler Higbee, tight end, have been very good to start the year. And running back Kyron Williams has been really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams shocked the Bengals tonight with or without Joe Burrow and beat them. But I got the Rams without. I got the Rams winning without if Joe Burrow doesn't play 31-3. If Joe Burrow does play, I think the Bengals win 27-23. I don't see the Bengals starting 0-3 with a healthy Joe Burrow, but I can see the Bengals starting out 0-3 without Joe Burrow. I just don't see this Bengals team starting out 0-3 with a healthy Joe Burrow. Or not really not healthy, but just an available Joe Burrow. You guys let me know your thoughts on today's Monday Night Football games. Give me your predictions for the two games, and peace out.